Hi everybody. Yep, I just wanted today to talk a little bit about CVs. Obviously, you're looking for a new job. The CV is what will make the world go around for you, and you need to get it right. So let's just talk about that a little bit. The CV is literally your 2 or 3 sheets of paper that will either get you an interview or not get you an interview, as the case may be. Now, what we need to see in the world of recruitment, in the world of finding a new job, is some good, clear, easy to read information about yourself. So what I get through all the time is CVs that are, shall we say, 6, 7, 8, 9 pages long, and these are CVs for people. They are not they're not Bill Gates. These are CVs for people that are not at that level. They haven't achieved that much in their careers yet because perhaps they're young. There's no way in the world they should have a CV that is that long. In fact, nobody should have a CV that is more than 3 pages long, and I'll tell you why. The reason is that CV is literally only the teaser. It does not need to say every single thing about you and every single thing that you've done. It needs to be the teaser that makes it look like you are an interesting person for the job, an interesting person in general, and somebody that has achieved the relevant things that they are asking for on the job description that you were applying for. So it is a teaser. Its CV is not the whole and absolute everything to do with your career, and you need to treat it as such. So let's just talk about how we need to see things, because the first thing is, when we get a CV through, we want something that doesn't hurt our eyes, which sounds a bit flippant. Maybe it is a little bit, but believe me, when you read CVs all day long, I see some amazing things. I don't want something that is centre justified. I want something, or in boxes, or I don't want something that is multicolored with 100 fonts, right? What we need is something that is in one font, 2 or 3 different sizes at the most, perhaps a little bit of bold on it to emphasize certain things. At the top, crazy as it sounds, I need to see your name. I need to see the basics of where you live. So if you live in Bristol, say you're from Bristol. If you live in a big city, say you're from London, and the beginning of the postcode, don't give all the postcode, don't give your house number, don't want to know that. Literally don't give that information. Say the city you're from or the area you're from and the first part of the postcode, BS5, if that's where you happen to live. That's all we need to know. And then I need to have a way of being able to get in contact with you. So I need a mobile telephone, ideally. I don't really want your house telephone number. I need a mobile telephone if possible, and an email address as well, if you're comfortable giving all that information. But ideally, I need a way of getting easily in contact with you. That would be great. So we've got your name, we've got the basis of your address, we know where you're from, and we've got a contact method of getting hold of you. What I then like to see is a personal summary or an executive summary. So this is a little section where you can spend 4 or 5 lines, preferably in nothing smaller than 12-point text, saying a little bit about yourself, what you've done, what you're good at. If you're transitioning from one industry to another, say that you are wanting to transition and why you're wanting to transition. Now, I have seen executive summaries that are half a page of A4. Now, you can write half a page of A4. Believe you me, nobody has the time or the inclination to read half a page of A4. It literally needs to be 4-5 lines that says a little bit about what you are, what you're looking for, what you're good at, the type of character you are. No more. Work at it. Get it crunched down. Don't crunch the point size down to make it think like you've only used 4 or 5 lines and you've done it in 0.6 size that you need a magnifying glass to read. It needs to be concise and clear. Keep it small. After that, what I really like to see is your details about your most up-to-date job. So starting with the most up-to-date and working backwards in time. So on your first job, we need to ideally separate the responsibilities and achievements that you had. And for your first job, I think it would be realistic to think that we could have 5 or 6 bullet points regarding your responsibilities and achievements, and keep it quite concise. Then when you go back to the next job you had previous to that, you need a few less bullet points, and the next job a few next bullet points. So basically going back in time, less and less bullet points for each job, to the point that if you're an older candidate, say if you're in your 60s, absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think it's a great thing to bring more experience to the table. But I really don't want 30 bullet points about what you did in 1980. Because frankly, things have changed since 1980. I remember 1980 and things are a lot different now. So ideally, if you have something on your CV from that time, yes, say you did it, or literally make the last 5 or 6 jobs that you did, if they're a long way back, just put them as a list of things I worked here, here as a XYZ, and it's literally 5 lines of text. Then it's so much easier. I don't want to know what you did in 1980. What I want to know is what you're doing now, what you've been doing recently, and what you want to do, and why you are the right person. So we've got your name, we've got an executive summary, we've got where you've been working in a concise manner. After you've done your jobs, what you can tell me a little bit about, ideally, would be your education. I need to know about your education. If you've got a degree, where did you do the degree? When did you do the degree as well? If you've got A-levels, GCSEs, whatever, the same thing. There's no need to list all 9 GCSEs if you've got 9 GCSEs. Just say I got 9 GCSEs, including maths and English. That would be perfectly fine. From a CV point of view. If I need to know any more, I can ask you. Don't spend a page and waste a load of my ink telling me about how many GCSEs you did and which ones they were and which grades you got in each one. Don't need to know, frankly. It's not that important or relevant in most jobs. So, got that information. Little bit about you. If you have some hobbies, a lot of the companies I work with, they don't just want the work related stuff. You can put at the bottom then about your hobbies. What do you do outside of work? If you do charity work, why do you do charity work? Who do you do charity work for? When do you do charity work? Tell me a little bit about that type of thing, so we get a feel for who you are as well. I like personally to see that at the bottom of the CV. So work stuff at the top, that type of information at the bottom. So if you can do that realistically needs to be in no more than 3 pages. In fact, actually, it can be in 2. And remember, this is a hook. This CV is the hook. It's not the be all and end all. All the CV has to do is get you an interview and show the people that see the CV that you have done some of the things that are pertinent to the job description that they are asking for. So with that in mind, when you write your basic CV, you actually need to almost write a different one for every job that you're applying for, which sounds a nightmare. I mean, it isn't a complete rewrite, to be honest. It will be take the job description, look at what they're asking, drag from your mind things that are relevant that you've done in your past that are relevant to that job description, and then don't just add them as bullet points, please, to the bottom and make your bullet point list even longer for your jobs. Delete some of the non-relevant bullet points that you've got in your responsibilities and achievements section of your jobs. Delete some of them and add some of the new stuff in that is relevant to the job description. Do not lie, do not make it up, but tease out the relevant things that you have done that are relevant to the job that you are applying for, and save that. Now, ideally, I like to have versions of your CV in Word, because I will be, if I put anybody, I don't put anybody forward for a job without talking to them first. And sometimes when I talk to the person, certain things come out of the conversation that I believe are relevant to what the customer, my customer and your future employer is asking for. So literally, if I get it in Word, I can make a quick modification to your CV and it's done and dusted just like that, and you approve it and away we go. So I like to have the CV in Word if at all possible, or PDF if you really must, but I prefer Word because it's easier and saves a lot of time. So your CV is a teaser for you, tells me about yourself, about what you've done in a concise manner, and it is literally a hook to get you the job. It is not your be all and end all. I do really not want to see loads of 6, 7, 8 page CVs. It's just a nightmare, frankly. Nobody will read it. So if we could do that going forwards, that would stand you in good stead, not just to win the jobs get the jobs that I'm offering, but to get any job in general, to be honest. So yeah, CVs, plain, simple, one font, 2 or 3 sizes. Don't make it microscopic text so that it's really hard to read. I already wear glasses. I don't want to have to wear even stronger glasses. Make it simple. Show it, when you've written it, show it to your boyfriend, your girlfriend, anybody. Let them, or somebody that doesn't know you, let them read it. Let them have a take at it. Send it to me. I'll have a look at it and say, right, you know what, that's really good. Or, but we could do this. Do not pay a fortune for somebody to write your CV. It's ridiculous. People do this for a living. Why on earth would you do that? The one person that knows about you better than anybody else in the world is you. So literally get it down on a piece of paper in the format that I've just said. And you don't need to pay anybody to write your CV. It's save your money, do your shopping with it instead. Honestly, if you do all those things, it will have a positive effect on your ability to get an interview. And of course, that's the first step in the process, is getting the interview. So yeah, I hope that helps. Message me if you want any guidance or want me to have a look at what you've done with your CV. I'll be happy to have a look, send it over. It's free consultancy. And I will give you my honest opinion. And don't hold me against it. Cheers.